Hello there. The Imparoach Tefrach, chapter 13, verse 12. Imparoach Tefrach Hatzaras Ba'or. If the leprosy will spread in the skin, the Chista Tzaras is called Or Hanega, and the Tzaras will cover all the skin of the affliction, Mirosho V'Raglav, from his head until his feet, and Kol Marei Einei HaKohen, all the appearance of the eyes of the Kohen, meaning to say, if the Kohen sees it from the head to the feet. But verse 12, from his head until his feet. So whatever the Kohen could see, this excludes a Kohen whose sight has dimmed. Chapter 13, verse 13, Viral Kohen. Tzaras is called Basaro. Kohen should look at this person, and the Tzaras is spread all over his body. V'tiaras anaga, and he purifies the affliction. Kulo afach lavan. If everything turned white, tahorhu. Ironically, if a part of the body is white, he's tameh. But if the whole body turns white, it's saying he's tahor.
Is that like the law of execution, that if everybody says that he's guilty?
It's ironic. I mean, there is no there is no Rashi on it, but that's what it seems to say. Yafa, you have the place for chapter 13. Yes, my dear friend Jerry.
Question: did your wife make any further comments when you got home last night? About
she told me that leprosy is the most commonly diagnosed neurological disease.
Neurological?
Yeah, it's neurological, neurocutaneous, she said. But today she said, I said, well, how many patients have you ever had with this disease today? She said, none. So at one point it was the most common, and now there's none.
Well, she works in an affluent city where these affluent people generally don't get such terrible diseases.
It could be, but it's also very rare in America now. We cited yesterday that they said there's only around 200 cases a year in America.
Oh.
Out of 300 million people. So it's very uncommon. So then the verse states, chapter 13, verse 14, Uvayom heiraot bo basar chayitma. And on the day, this is a very powerful teaching right here. You're going to find this very interesting. On the day that they show him the healthy flesh, yitma, he will be declared tameh. What does this mean? So there's a day in which his healthy flesh appears, then he will be declared tameh. What does that mean? What's the concept here? Rashi tells us, Im tzamcha bo michya, that if I guess this healthy part spread, hare kvar piresh, we've already explained sham michya, we've already explained that the michya, which is this healthy spot, is a sign of the tumah. Shemechya siman tumah. We've already said that this mechya is a sign of the tumah. El harei shayan nega be'echad me'esrim ve'arba rashei avarim. But let's say the nega, this affliction, came on one of the 24 limbs. She'ein mitamin mishum mechya. That they don't typically become tameh from this healthy spot. Because you don't see the appearance all at once. Because they turn and slope in each direction. And then the limb, the head of the limb is basically flipping backwards, and its slope is revealed al yedei shuman. Could go in shehivri v'nasa recha, but like the fat, it became healthy and became wider. The neros and then you see this healthy flesh. The verse is telling us that this is a sign of ritual impurity. Not exactly sure what that would look like. We would need a diagram. Does Rabbi Steinsaltz give us a diagram on that? No. Uvayom, and on this day, Matam Alomar, what does it mean this day? Lamed Yesh Yom Shataroebo, Yesh Yom She'ena Taroebo. This is a sign that this affliction of tsaras is clearly not a physical disease, because they're saying there are certain days that the Kohen doesn't look at it. Doctor's office is closed. If he's a groom, we tell him, don't go to the Kohen during your party. It's talito, uchsuto, lebeto. We don't give him, we give him his garments, his cloak, his garments in his house. They're not looked at. You don't go to the Kohen on the festival. You go after the festival. We see from here that, can you imagine? They say the Kohen is the only one who could declare it saras. It's not saras unless the Kohen declares it saras. Unlike a medical disease, Rahman al-San is a scientifically objective disease, but saras, it's only saras if the Kohen declares it saras. That's what it means from Uvayom Ra'ospo. The Ra'al Kohen as a basar chai, the Kohen shall see this healthy flesh, v'timo, and he declares him unclean. A basar chai tameu tzarasu. This healthy flesh is tzaras. Oki ashuva bar a basar chai v'ne'apachu avanu val kohen. Or if the healthy flesh will recede and it turns to white, he comes to the Kohen. And behold, the affliction turned white. And the Kohen, and the Kohen shall purify the affliction, it is tahor.
So there's no treatment given by the Kohen, just.
There is a treatment, but the treatment is a spiritual treatment. Quarantine and then sacrifices. The treatment is discussed mostly in the next portion, Mitzorah. The re-entry, it's not really a treatment, it's a re-entry process. Uvasar kiyebo ba'orosh shchin. Let's say there's flesh and it has in its skin shchin. What's a shchin? It's a boil. Do you know what a boil is?
A bubble. Big zit.
Yeah.
I don't know. Does anybody have boils today?
I guess we can Google it, but I don't really want to see it.
I'm sure that people have
Boils.
they called maybe something else. Maybe they're not called.
Rashi says, Lashon chimum. Shchin is an expression of warming. Shenischamim abasar b'lakoy abalo machmas maka. That the flesh gets warmed as a result of a wound, but shalom machmas haor, and not from the fire. So there's a wound, and that causes the flesh to get warm and make a bubble.
Right.
Veneer pa, and then
Oils.
I think everyone's looking at it.
It's a common painful infection of the hair follicle and the surrounding skin.
no, yeah.
Your own hair.
No, it sounds like
A boil is like a zit.
pimple. Yeah, exactly.
Vi-
You can call it
So if the flesh has a boil and it's healed, hashrin. What does it mean? Veneer pa hashrin. Hela aruka uvimkomo hela nega acher. So if the boil became healed, and then in its place another one sprouted up. Verse 19. Adam demes, and it was in the place where the boil was, there became a se'es. We discussed that yesterday, which was white, or baharis, another type of appearance, which was levana adam demes, reddish white, veneer al kohen, and it's shown to the kohen. So Rashi says, what's going on here? She'ena nega lavan chalak. It's that the affliction is not smooth white. Ela patuch umurav b'shtei maros loven va'odem. It is mixed up. It is mixed up with two colors, white and red. Verse 20, Viral Kohen, and the Kohen looks at it, V'nei mar'eha shafal min ha'or, and its appearance is lower than the skin. Usara fachavan, and its hair is white. V'timal Kohen, Kohen says, you're tamei, negat sarasi b'shchen parcha. It's tsaras because it blossomed into a boils. It blossomed in the boil and it became tsaras. Rashi says, Mar'el shafal, ve'ein mamasha shafal. It's not actually lower. Al mitochav ninusa, but because it's white, unereh shafal v'amok, it appears to be lower. K'mareh chama, like the sun appears, amuka minatzel, like the sun appears to be shallower than the shade. Verse 21. Ve'im yorenu HaKohen, and if let's say the Kohen will see it, Vinei ein ba se'ar lavan. If let's say the Kohen will see this mark, and behold, there's no white hair, ushfala einena min ha'or, and it is not lower than the skin, v'ikea, and it's dim, and we're going to go through this process. We're not sure if he's a Kohen, if he's Saras. And so therefore, he has to be quarantined for 7 days. And if it spreads, then the Kohen says, you're tamei, it's a nega, it's Saras. Rashi says, what's a nega? Either the se'es, hazos, or baharis, either the se'es or the baharis. Vim tachtea tamoda baharis, lo pasasa. And if the baharis remains in its place, if it didn't spread, tzareves hashlinhi, then it's not tzaras, it's just the scar of the boil. V'tiaro kohen, and the kohen will say it's tahor. Let's see what Rashi says here. Tachta bimkoma, in its place. Tzareves hashlin. Rashi says, like the Aramaic, Roshem Shechna, Einu Ela Roshem Achimum Anikar Basar. This is the mark of the boil. It's just the mark of the warmth on the flesh. Meaning to say it's not saras, it's just the boil. The expression tzareves, Rashi says, means rigias or hanirgami machas kimum kamo v'nitravu ba kol panim. So basically, it's like the calming down of the skin from the warmth. Okay, we're in chapter 13, verse 24. O basar kiyeh ba'oro michvas eish. Let's say there'll be a type of flesh that will have in its skin michvas eish, a burn by fire. What does that mean, a burn by fire? Vayisam mechyas ha-michvah. Levana, Adam demes o levana. So if in the flesh there is in its skin a burn by fire, and the healing of the burn became a baheret, which was reddish white or plain white. So Rashi says here the same thing. Rashi tells us, "Sinaman balad keshechita hamechva." When the burn becomes healed, It became either this rough Baharat or the smooth white mark. And now Rashi tells us, the signs of the burn and the signs of the boils are the same. Why did Torah divide them? We don't combine the two amounts. In order for it to be a mark, it makes you tamei. It needs to be the size of a bean, a gris, or a pea, whatever it is that they had. So if each one is half a gris, you can't combine them. And then the Kohen will see it. By the way, I can cite my nephew Ben Winters. I just put his Dvar Torah on the YouTube channel. He says, why does it need to keep saying Vira'ah Kohen, Vira'ah Kohen? Kohen sees, the Kohen sees, the Kohen sees. Why does it have to make that point each time? He said the pshat is like this. He said, you get saras. One of the reasons the Gemara in Erechim lists is because you gossiped, you did lashon hara. And often the time when a person gossips about somebody, terribly speaking, we don't know the full story, and that doesn't stop us from saying bad things about people. We just don't know. So therefore, the Kohen, he wants to say this person is a sinner. He has to look closely each time. Virah, virah, virah. He can't rely on anybody else. He has to see it himself. That's the point that Ben made in his YouTube video. I guess Shmak Dvar Torah. Ben, if you're listening, shkoyach to you. Virah saw Kohen, and then the Kohen should look at it. And so that the white hair in the Baharis, the hair turned white in the Baharis, and its appearance is lower than the skin. Tarasi. It's taras, it blossomed in the burn. And the Kohen says, you're tamei nega tarasi. This is the affliction of taras. So taras is in the feminine, and the nega is in the masculine. This is why sometimes it keeps going from he or who. So when it's next to the tsaras, it will be in the feminine. And the Kohen will see it, and there will not be white hair, and it's not lower down from the skin. And it's dim. Kohen needs to separate him for 7 days. Kohen looks at him on day 7. If it's spread in the skin, then the Kohen says, you're tamei nega tzarasi. Kohen, it is tzaras. And if it doesn't change, it didn't spread, and it's dim, then it's just a burn. And the Kohen says you're pure, because it is the tzareva samech. It's just a burn mark. The isha. So now we're up to the next one, verse 29. Isha kiyabo naga barosho b'skan. Let's say you have a mark, a man or a woman, on their head or on their beard. Rashi says, the Torah is distinguishing between if you have affliction on the place where you typically have hair, and in the case on your regular flesh. Because the one in the hair, it's marked by yellow hair, and the rest of the skin, it's marked by white hair. I guess I never actually thought about it. When you get older and your hair turns gray, does the hair of your arms turn gray?
It can.
Yeah. I never thought about that. So far, mine are still brown. I'm not looking too closely though. Afraid.
No, but this way we don't run to the Kohen every time that we see a white hair, because it's a natural progression, and there almost isn't a part of the body that isn't covered with hair.
Your eyes don't have hair in them. They have eyebrows and eyelids, but they don't have
Yeah,
hair in them.
it's-
Viral Kohen, yeah, but it's a good point. Viral
I
Kohen
was
is
guessing that there
a
won't be tzarat in the eyes.
right. Viral Kohen is a nega, and the Kohen shall see the affliction. Vinay mar'eu amok or, and it's lower down than the skin. Uvo se'ar tza'uv dak, and it has golden thin hair. V'timeo so a Kohen neseku. The Kohen will say you're tamei. It's a nesek. Tzaras harosho azakanhu. It's tzaras of the head or of the beard. Neseku is a relation to the nega. Chiyireh, verse Rashi. Vo seir tzahov shenepach seir shachar shabo tzahov. That the yellow hair of it turned, that the black hair turned yellow. Nesechu. That's the Kal Shmo Shel Nega Shem Kom Seir. That's the name of the affliction in the place of the hair. Verse 31. L'chiyera Kohen is a nega nesa hanesak. B'nei amarel amok minor. If the Kohen will see the affliction of the nesak, and behold, its appearance will not be amok minor, will not be lower than the skin. V'seir shachar imbo, and it does not have black hair. Iskira Kohen is a nega nesak sheves yamim. The Kohen should close it up for 7 days. Ra Kohen is a nega b'yom hashvi, and the Kohen shall see the affliction. Actually, I have to read the Rashi on that. V'seir shachar imbo. Hamayabo seir shachor tahor. If it would have black hair, it's tahor. Ve'in tzarach lisager. You don't need the confinement. Sheseir shachor siman taharahu b'nisakim. By these afflictions, black hair is a sign of ritual purity. Okay, verse 32. I think that these are the most opaque parts of the whole Torah. I'm sure they were comprehensible to the Jewish people at a certain point in time, but I'm finding that lots of these verses are just completely incomprehensible to me.
Even with Rashi.
I mean, with Rashi, well, Rashi says we understand, but we don't really understand what they look like. We could read Rashi's words and translate them, but it doesn't really give us, when Mashiach comes, if we have tzaras, nobody's going to know what it is. And there's no established psak about the tzaras. Like in general, we have an established psak like about most things. There's an established tradition, what's okay, what's not okay. We'll be starting over, and these directions are not really 100% clear to me.
What's the purpose? Is to protect the community, right?
Is it the purpose to protect the community? Hello, my dear friend. I mean, or is the purpose to allow this person who is isolated from the community to re-enter into the community? I think it's not. I think it's the opposite of what you're saying. The purpose was not to protect the community. The purpose was to make space for the community to allow him to come back in. The community wanted to throw him out, and the Kohen is telling us how he could get back in. I don't know. That's what I think. You could be right, but I'm just saying it depends.
Not better.
Because who do we have to protect? Do we have to protect the community from an individual or the individual from the community? We need both. We have to do both. But yeah, I'm sorry, Mordechai, I cut you off.
I was going to say that if tzaras is leprosy, there is